Good morning. How is everyone? It's a beautiful Sunday, sunny morning. I'm on my way to meet my family at the church. It's about, again, I think I mentioned this before, it's about an hour and a half from where I live to where I meet them every Sunday at church. If I want to go all the way to their home, it's about 2 hours. So it's another 30 minutes, give or take. It's according to the traffic and which way I go. I can either take the interstate or take the back roads, which I prefer the interstate much better, because Route 10 always, it never fails what time of the day or night it is, how early you leave for work, how late you leave for work. It doesn't matter. There's always going to be someone going at least 10 miles under the speed limit on that road. It just never fails. I don't know. Again, it could be any time, a day or night. It could be in the middle of the night. There's going to be one person who on Route 10, always Route 10 between, the route I take there, this part in West Virginia here, who was going at least 10 to 15 miles under the speed limit. Not an 18-wheeler. Those are there too. Sometimes they take that route too because there's stores they need to make deliveries. I can understand them because you don't want to see those trucks flying. It's kind of a rough, it's not rough, it's kind of a twisty-turny over the mountain road. But yeah, anyway. So I'm heading there now. This morning, I had a class at midnight. I left it wide open because right now at VIPKid, it's, you get what you get with your booking. So I kind of opened up the whole weekend. I did that with the last frenzy, and then I closed, my camera's like being all funny here. And then I closed out what didn't book because I didn't want to do a whole overnight thing. So I had one booked for yesterday at 9 p.m. but he ended up canceling yesterday morning, so that was kind of a free $10. And then I had one at midnight that didn't cancel, but he's a good one. I didn't mind waking up. I set my alarm before I went to bed. I set my alarm at about 11:45. Went and splashed water in my face real quick and fixed my hair real quick, and then taught it the little lesson. He's a good kid, so I didn't mind doing that for him, which I didn't have a choice. He already booked, and I'm up to 5 cancellation at this contract, which renews at the end of October. So I did that. At 2 o'clock it canceled beforehand. Unfortunately it wasn't within the 24-hour window, so I didn't get paid for that one. But I had probably 6 classes this morning. And so I did those 6 classes. Thankfully, most of them, all but one, the children were great. There's one that I usually deny I declined their booking request because it's probably I think it was our 58th. I actually looked because it was a 58th class together, and no matter how many times I've said that this kid can't focus, he needs an adult with him, I've explained things he does to both the LP and the parent, there's been no change in him. So I've learned with this kid, and I put it in my teacher comments, whatever, to remind myself, or if they move on, that maybe someone, whoever gets him in China, or I'm just throwing comments to the wind that, why is there a green light and people stop? I just don't get that. I don't know why. But anyway, they can see I get road rage easily. He'll, for example, it's a level 5 lesson on insects, and was bed bugs. Of course, he said bed with the F word. He loves the F word, and I've learned there's no point in getting upset. I just look at him with a stoic face, say, I don't want to hear that word again. And he always does the, what word? What's that mean? What's that mean? I said, I don't want to hear it again. And now I just keep it moving because he wants to sit there and cause a rise out of somebody and take up time in class. So and then he never says it again. I think he forgot, because I hadn't seen him in like 2 or 3 weeks. So I think he forgot that he's already used that trick with me several times. I've mentioned it in feedback. I've mentioned it in earlier feedback. He'll just say the F word. I've mentioned the feedback to both the LP and the parent. Telling the parent, just in case they don't know that word, how inappropriate it is to use that word and why it's didn't really say white. I didn't even want to describe what the word means. I didn't do that. But that's, a word that is used in English that is makes the person look very bad, and it's a very vulgar word to use. And then he didn't do it for a little while, and so I think he got used to other new teachers, because I looked at the teacher feedback and none of them said that. I think they just kind of passed him on to, and I didn't see any other teacher to teacher. I think people's giving up on that more now. But then today he said a bed bug every time. I thought I heard him say it, but I let it go because I didn't want to jump on that super quick. And then the word bed bug came up again, and he said bed with the F word. And I stopped him and went, stop. I don't want to hear that word again. And that's when he started to, what? What word? What word? What did I say? And then I was like, I said what I said. I don't want to hear that word again. And he didn't say it again for the rest of the lesson. So I think he remembered that he and I had this discussion before. I haven't done teacher feedback. I haven't done the feedback to the parent yet, but I will mention it there. Again, it's like tossing a note. I might as well just roll this window down here and toss a note out the window. I feel like sometimes with the parent feedback, with some of the parents, not all of them. I have some very good parents who will respond to the feedback and in the teacher feedback. They'll leave feedback saying, thank you for your feedback. We will work on yada yada yada. Or they'll say, thank you for the feedback, and they'll say, Teacher Jason, or Jason's very detailed. I have one that calls me doctor, because they know I have my doctorate. The doctor, we thank the doctor for his feedback. He always gives detailed and blah blah blah. I think it's cute. I like it. Yeah, there's that kid, and the trick for him is just to keep the class going. He'll do things and he'll say things. He tries his best to derail the lesson, but it doesn't work. Again, I've had him for many, many classes, and in brick and mortar, I've worked with students like him before. They're not bad. They're not bad. I'm not saying he's a bad kid. He's just an unsupervised kid, and he needs a lot to focus. So you just got to keep it going. Don't can't pitter patter around with him, because he loves that. And so I learned that like in lesson 2 with him, 1 or 2 I had with him. Like, this kid needs direct. This is what we're doing. Keep going, and we keep going like. And so I was reading teacher. Oh, he did leave. Another teacher left feedback about him to the teacher. He kept saying his name was Banana, but his name was and so his real name is, his name on the record says this, but he kept telling me his name was Banana. So I called him Banana, so I don't know what to do. And then sometimes, you can leave notes to each other, and I let the note saying, if he says his name is Banana, he's telling a lie. He's pulling your leg. I said, no, he's pulling your leg. I didn't want to say he's a liar. He's pulling your leg. You're new, and he knows he can do that. His name is not Banana. His name is not. If he turns his microphone off, his microphone does work. He likes to turn it off. He did that to me today. And I said, okay, I'll wait till you turn your microphone on. And he turned it on, he looked at me, and I said, let's not turn our microphone off anymore. He says, okay, and he didn't. So there's that. Luckily with Engoo, I know I keep singing the praises of Engoo. The only negative I have so far about Engoo is I wish there was a teacher-to-teacher feedback part there. I understand, they've been operating for years without it, which is fine. I like when I get a new student, I'd like to know like a little bit about them, because there's really no information besides sometimes they give you their name. If it says DMM English, they're from Japan. It'll say Engoo Thailand, Engoo Korea. I had an Engoo from Taiwan. I knew that. I think I said that in an earlier video. That meant he was from Taiwan. And I forgot, for some reason I forgot. And he said, hello, Teacher Jason. I was like, oh, because they don't do the whole teacher, like the Teacher Jason, teacher. I was like, oh, hey. And so it'll tell you you kind of know where they're from. But sometimes if it says DMM, I can, that E word, I need to learn how to pronounce that. Because the students call it DMM anyway, so that's why I keep saying DMM. It's like a thing that Engoo acquired. It's the same program, they just call it something different in Japan. But they may be, they're probably they're from Japan, but they live somewhere else. I had someone from Japan living in Colorado, and then I had one living in the state of Oregon this past week. So they may be living in other places. Oh, I had one, he was in Singapore. And so they may be Japanese, but living in other places as well. Because their company, and a lot of them, again, their company is having them do that because, is the sun in y'all's eyes? Yep, there's a sun. Because they want their employees to learn or improve their English. Usually their English, when they're using this program, is at a good level, if they're adults. At a decent level, good level. And they need to improve their discussion skills, their, not so much reading comprehension. It's not lessons like VIPKid or Go-Go-Kid. And I've never done the other ones, so I don't know any of those like that. There are some other lessons you can do, like there's like pronunciation. You can do any of the lessons you want. They can choose whatever they want. Usually they choose the article, or some of the children will choose. I've had a lot of children lately choosing like free discussion, and that's been interesting because I was kind of a little fearful at first, because I've done the free talk lessons with VIPKid, and maybe 1 out of 10 students I've had free talk lessons with, it was like squeezing blood from a turnip to get them to speak. Then some of them would do wonderfully, but the ones I've had with Engoo so far, they did very well. They've been really good kids, and I didn't really need to do a lot of effort into it. And I just had to ask questions. They would answer. Every once in a while, I had to remind them, useful sentences when because it helps the conversation, whatever. But we talked about Nintendo games. I love Super Smash Brothers. If you ever played that on any of the Nintendo consoles, and that seems to be a popular game among the children I've had so far. The boys, the girls, I haven't really been into that. I had a woman last night, I think it was. Yeah, last night. I've had some English teachers. She was a junior high English teacher, and I had an English teacher before her that was a home English teacher. Like, students would come to her for English instruction at her house. And so she worked from home and did that. And she also worked as an English tutor, tour guide. But she hasn't had much work with giving tours lately because of the current situation the world's in right now. So she's had like high school students and some college students too as well come to her for English instruction for that. Both of them had very, very good English skills, of course, if they're teaching English. I'd asked them, I said, have you ever considered going on the DMM or Engoo? Don't know what Engoo is. A lot of them don't. And they said they've not. One lady said no, she doesn't like teaching online. She prefers face-to-face, which is fine. We each have our preferences. And the other one says she enjoys teaching to a class. She don't think she would like having a new student every 25 minutes. That's people's preferences like that. And it's good when people understand what's their jam and what isn't. Back to that woman. We were talking about article was something to do with music. I can't remember. There's an Iranian man who was putting out a new album. He's already been arrested several times because they didn't approve of his music in Iran. I keep saying Iran. That's Iran. And so he still lives in like northern Iran. He's getting ready to put out a couple songs or a couple albums or something like that. And so they're talking about how it might put him in prison again, because there's some he collaborates with other people, artists around the world, even some famous ones too, even like a famous producer too. I'd never heard of him. She had never heard of him, but reading the article, he had like good credentials. Like, oh wow. I mean to look him up. I didn't see what his name is. But this woman talked about being a drummer. She's played in a band. And so I introduced her to Sheila E. If someone who's my age or probably older knows. If you're probably younger, then you probably don't know who Sheila E. is. And so I showed her a link to go, or a YouTube video link. I sent that to her in the comments. Who Sheila E. is, because she'd never heard of her. Because I asked her if she ever had written music, and she said, no, I don't have that kind of talent, which is fine. I don't have that talent either. I play saxophone, but I won't write music. But I showed her a woman whose her career, a lot of it's been based on being a professional drummer, sometimes a solo drummer sometimes. And she's written and sang too as well. And so these have been very interesting. You can't have these, and that's just with any, not just that culture, but any culture. You can't have these kind of discussions with a lot of the students on VIPKid, and a lot of times the curriculum just won't allow it, because there's so much you have to get through on VIPKid to in order to go on, because the next lesson is going to be based upon what happened in the previous lesson. And if you stop and discuss the whole time, then the kid's not going to be prepared. There's going to be an assessment, and so it's I think that has its place. But I think I'm getting, I think I've already said this. I'm kind of burned out anyway on VIPKid, so this is coming at a good time. I'm gonna keep doing it because I enjoy my regulars. I don't mind rejecting the people I don't want as regulars, because I don't have to, which I never really had to. But maybe they can find another teacher that suits their needs in these last parts of their foreign language instruction, because it just, I want to give that time to a student who's going to appreciate the time left they have with a foreign teacher. If they don't appreciate it, then let them move on and find another, and I don't care. And then the parents can deal with it. I don't care about that. I don't really care about ratings too much. I give my all. I don't sit there and do poorly and fall asleep and talk text on my phone. I give each class, every bit of what I have, but I'm not really, concerned about those kind of things at this point. So I need to make. I've started. I'm like a video comparing VIPKid with Engoo. Again, I know they're probably oranges to apples. Like a Cambly Engoo comparison would be more appropriate, but I've never done Cambly, so there's a lot of people switching from VIPKid to Engoo. So I may do that. I need to get on that. Sometimes I just don't have much time for those. That looks like one I have to plan out, because I need to make a list exactly, or it's going to be like just me rambling a list out and not getting everything I want to say out there like that. And so I started on it, and I like to make 10, maybe 10 differences. Maybe I think that'd be enough. I've got 9 written down on Microsoft where I typed it out, so it's on my computer there. I'll get a 10th difference. I may reorganize and reword some things, and so I'm getting a little more into, and you've seen already on some of my videos, and this one too, that I've learned how to use Canva. I got the free version for now until I get a little further into it. So they may look kind of cheap and generic, but I don't mind. I don't care. I'm starting out, so that I can use that as an excuse. If I'm still doing this a year or two from now and I'm still using free Canva, then it'll serve me right to not have anybody watching, because I haven't really pushed any effort into it by that point. This has been a little longer because, again, it takes me a little longer to get to where I need to go. And I understand. I've noticed some of the, every once in a while, a video will have an average view rate that's close to the actual size of the video, but most of them will be about a fifth of what they are. And I do the same thing. If I'm watching a video and it's about 20 minutes long and it's just someone talking, I'm not going to sit and listen to the whole thing unless I know everything they're saying is going to be pertinent to me. And here's a left lane driver, someone driving slow in the left lane. Where are they from? Michigan. Well, so they don't know how we do it here in West Virginia. I guess in Michigan you drive in the left lane slow. I don't know. If you're from Michigan, I'm just joking. I really know it's not the case. But I do the same thing. I just kind of skip through it and get to the good parts, or if it looks like they're just rambling like I'm doing now, I kind of just I'll come back to it later. I'll like it just for the, because they can get the the metrics will show, it's been liked. Might leave a comment, and then I'll move on, because I had to have a really short attention span. Anyway, I guess I could go ahead and wrap this up now, but I will thank you. If you did watch the whole thing, great. That I appreciate the watch time. I'm very, very, very far away from ever getting monetized at this point. And I know I'm still early. I've only been doing it just for a little over a month, so I understand. I'm not in a hurry. I've seen some channels take a while to get to that point. I know, just stick with it. I need to find some more. I need to do things that people actually want to see. So, and if you want to see me, just I can just talk all day. I'm good at that, I guess. Alrighty, you have a wonderful day, and alrighty, bye-bye.